What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some very fun battles in the Open Great League submitted to the channel by Shikhar CFC, who's running a triple shadow team with Sharpedo, Camerupt and Kanto Marowak. By the way, I do want to mention that I've also received quite a few interesting Ultra League submissions over the holiday period, so if you have submitted any battles, I may get around to showcasing them next week. However, for now I'll only be showcasing Great League teams. And also thank you for the support in my first live stream of the new year. I trialed a new YouTube goal feature involving donations, and you guys managed to hit that goal, which essentially doubled the length of that live stream. So thank you for the support, and thank you specifically to Colin L, who also gifted 20 memberships during the live stream. As always, it is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. What's the most flexible Pokemon you've built for the Go Battle League that has play in multiple leagues as well as themed cups when it's eligible? Let me know in the comment section down below. And with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Let's go into the first battle, leading Sharpedo into Toxapex. Now, this is not a great matchup for us. Of course, Waterfall's hitting for resisted damage, and whilst of course we do have two Pokemon weak to the water typing, Camerupt incredibly weak to the water typing, I think we probably should have swapped out there a lot sooner than that, because essentially we've taken the neutral Poison Jab damage and now swapped into a Pokemon weak to the water typing. So honestly, not sure about that play. However, we baited out a Talonflame. We're going to bait with a Bone Club. I don't mind that bait there. It's pretty obvious they're going to shield. We're going to double shield our Marowak as they go for a flame charge, boosting up their attack, and again we're going to bait with a Bone Club. At this point, I don't see the point in baiting here, as the opponent is probably going to shield anyways. However, we can save some energy, swap into our Sharpedo, and the opponent is forced to throw their energy. So they go for a flame charge. We can now come in with the Shadow Camerupt, and the opponent comes in with Diggersby. However, they do swap out of that matchup, meaning they're one turn behind, meaning we reach the overheat, which actually gets the one shot there. They now come in with the Toxapex. They should be able to reshape Brian, and of course Brian going to hit for double super effective damage. It will be enough damage to take out the Shadow Camerupt. However, we are just one Mud Slap away from a Bone Club on our Shadow Marowak. Bone Club gets the KO, and from this range we can actually Mud Slap, farm down the Talonflame, and we're able to take that game. So going into next battle, I'm going to see Sharpedo into Greninja, so battle of the water and dark type Pokemon. Unfortunately, a Hydro Cannon is pretty much going to one-shot us, so we will definitely respect the damage here. They bait with a Night Slash, which is unfortunate. However, honestly, even a Night Slash is still going to do absolutely huge damage. We're going to go for a Poison Fang on the CMP type, winning CMP as well. Poison Fang is going to be shielded as the opponent fires off the Night Slash, and they swap and they snipe with a Shadow Drapion. We're now going to come in with our Kanto Marowak. We are going to no-shield the first charge move here as they fire off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail does big damage. However, of course, up against, say, Greninja, Hydro Cannon going to do more damage. We're going to go for a Bone Club, get the KO. They come back in with Greninja, and they will reach a last second charge move somehow. I think we should have got the full Mud Slap farm down there, but we're just going to rely on the Shadow Camerupt, get that Incinerate farm down, and the opponent comes in with Galarian Corsola. Now, of course, the regular Corsola would be a nightmare for the Camerupt, but they do, of course, take neutral damage from the Earth Power. It absolutely chunks there. We can Incinerate, farm them down, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, Shadow Sharpedo into Quagsire. So a fairly neutral matchup here. We're going to stay in initially, and we are going to shield the first charge move as the opponent fires off a Mud Bomb there. And we are now going to go and farm up to the crunch. We're going to bait with a Poison Fang. Poison Fang wouldn't quite get the KO from this range, I don't think. However, we do grab a shield, then we swap, we catch the charge move and get a Mud Slap through all at the same time. Very nice play there. We can now go for the Mud Slap farm down. However, the opponent is going to preserve the health on that Quagsire, swap into a Dugong. We fire off the Rock Slide. Rock Slide does some decent damage there, and the opponent is going to throw just before we reach the next Bone Club. So the opponent fires off the Icy Wind, getting the KO there. We can come in with the Shadow Camerupt, and unfortunately they will be able to debuff our attack, or potentially full send a Drill Run. However, they do go for the Icy Wind, so we're actually going to swap and clear that debuff immediately. We are going to try and fire off a Poison Fang, but unfortunately we get huge stutters there. We don't get off the charge move. The opponent fires off a Trailblaze. Trailblaze is neutral damage there, and the opponent transfers the energy there, or sorry, the damage, and they're able to get damage registration error, it looks like, as well. Unfortunately, I think we've just been robbed of a win in that battle, but we do go down to the Ariados and we lose that game. But into the next battle, we're going to see a Miltank in the lead. So again, fairly neutral matchup. Unfortunately, Sharpedo is going to lose most neutral matchups. However, we're going to no-shield this, and it looks like we will just barely make it to a Poison Fang. However, the opponent makes a very interesting catch there, catching onto a Wigglytuff. So, of course, Poison Fang hits for super effective damage. We get the full-on snipe with the Incinerates on our Shadow Camerupt. The opponent comes back in with the Miltank. We fire off one Incinerate, throwing on good timing, going for the Earth Power, getting the KO, and they've got Umbreon in the back. And at this point, it's going to be game over, I do think. As we can go for another Earth Power before they reach a charge move. Earth Power grabs the shield. We actually drop their defense, which is really nice. I don't think it's necessary here. At this point, I do agree. Just let the Camerupt go down. Foul play, going to be taking us out. We still got 2 shields and a Shadow Kanto Marowak. No one charge move is going to be taking us out. Honestly, 2 foul plays will not get the KO anyways, but we're going to fire off a Bone Club. Bone Club probably won't quite take out the Umbreon from this range either, even with a debuff to their defense. However, we can just double shield here, go for the Mud Slap. Mud Slap will be enough damage to take out the Umbreon, and we're able to take that game. So go into the next battle. This is not great for us at all. So Sharpedo in the lead, gonna Say Swap into our Shadow Camerupt, and I definitely do not recommend using Shadow Camerupt as the Say Swap. I know Marowak is definitely gonna be more reliable, but I definitely think you should be Say Swapping into Marowak. I think Camerupt is a Pokemon that once you've maybe baited out a Water-type Pokemon, can absolutely terrorize teams in the end game with this moveset. However, unfortunately, it's gonna be fairly slow to get to the charge moves. It does not have a bait move either. And yeah, unfortunately, just not that great of a Pokemon in that safe swap position. And I think Marowak can actually flip certain matchups, like for example, up against a Bibarel, we are going to resist the rollout damage. So while Surf would hit for super effective damage, that is definitely a matchup that Marowak would have been able to flip. However, we're going to see a Psywave Soul Rock coming in here, which I have tried out this season, and I will admit it's not amazing, but it is still fairly fun to use. They go for a Psychic. We're then going to see them swap back into the Annihilate as the opponent fires off a Rage Fist. We do have the Bone Club there, however, unfortunately, we do not have enough HP to then farm down the Soul Rock there, so we don't bother throwing, and unfortunately, they do counter farm us down. But into the next battle, a great lead matchup for us as we see a Talonflame. The opponent takes ages to swap out there before eventually swapping into a Goodra. We're going to fire off a Poison Fang. Poison Fang is actually no shielded. It drops their defense, of course, as it is a guaranteed defense drop there. We're now going to shield this as the opponent fires off the Aqua Tail, and we can go for the Mud Slap farm down. They come back in with the Talonflame. Again, we are going to bait with a Bone Club. I don't mind this. The opponent is going to shield anyways, and honestly, from this range, Bone Club would very nearly take them out anyway. So we're going to go for another Bone Club, grab both shields from the opponent there. The opponent does farm up a ton of energy. However, we're just going to let the Marowak go down at this point. They go for a fly. We can come in with the Sharpedo, and we're actually going to no-shield this, put all of our faith into our Shadow Camerupt for the end game. Can we sweep with the Camerupt? It looks very likely here. The opponent will reach an Aqua Tail. Of course, going to hit for double super effective damage. It would probably take us out there, but we can just shield that up, fire off the Earth Power. Earth Power, of course, hitting for super effective damage. It takes them out. One more Incinerate, takes out the Talonflame, and we're able to take that game. So go into next battle, Sharpedo into a Gligar. So Gligar, honestly, not great this season, and the opponent is definitely going to have to swap out there. They swap into Blossom, and we get a full Incinerate in as the opponent doesn't throw on the best timing. They go for the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade is neutral damage. It does big damage, and again, the opponent gets damage registration error there, which means, unfortunately, we don't get that Incinerate farm down like we should have. We then blind throw an Overheat, expecting the Gligar to come back in, only to see a Toxapex, and that's actually quite a smart play on the opponent's end there. Expecting the blind throw. Earth Power, of course, going to hit for super effective damage. It would have done a huge damage up against the Toxapex. However, I don't think it really matters in the end, as we can just shield up, go for the Waterfall farm down. We can fire off a Poison Fang. Honestly, Poison Fang crunch doesn't really matter. We're probably going to grab a shield at this point, and then we can just go for a full Mud Slap farm down with our Marowak. We can very easily live a Brine from this range. The opponent not going to make it to 2 charge moves here. 2 more Mud Slaps, gets the KO, and we're able to take that game. So going into next battle, Sharpedo into Azumarill. So by typing alone, this doesn't seem like a great matchup for us. However, we are of course resisting the bubble damage. They're resisting Waterfall. However, Poison Fang is going to hit for super effective damage. It does huge damage there. And at this point, we're actually going to no-shield. This will just be an Ice Beam. Ice Beam is resisted damage. Honestly, it doesn't look it there. But we can now swap, get the full Mud Slap farm down with our Shadow Kanto Marowak. And let's see what the opponent wants to do. They're going to come in with their own Kanto Marowak. So honestly, not ideal for us, as we are, of course, ahead on energy, but down in in health. We can now fire off a second Bone Club, however, and Bone Club from this range probably going to grab a shield. It does grab that first shield. We're also going to have to shield this as well because Camerupt does not appreciate the damage from the Mud Slaps. We will reach another Bone Club, but we actually swap. We try to catch the charge move on our Sharpedo, but the opponent has the exact same idea, trying to catch onto their Dunsparce, so that's definitely not ideal for us. We go for the Bone Club there, and the opponent is actually going to commit to a full farm down, which is not ideal for us. We do make it to another Bone Club, but they can use their final shield, and I think they will be reaching 2 drill runs here, so we're going to have to no-shield one of them, maybe hope that they go for a Rock Slide instead, but no, they full send the drill run there. We do actually get the Incinerate through, and this will get the KO. However, one Mud Bomb will be taking us out. Sorry, not, oh my god. One Mud Slap will be taking us out there. Got there in the end, and unfortunately we do lose that game. But into next battle, we're going to see a Gastrodon in the lead, so we are going to stay in here. We're going to shield this up. I personally would farm up to the Crunch before throwing, but we're just going to go straight for the Poison Fang here. Poison Fang is resisted. It does grab the shield anyways, and now we're going to swap into our own Mud Slapper in Marowak. We are going to no shield as it's just another Body Slam. The opponent then swaps into Typhlosion. I am not sure about that swap whatsoever. We're going to fire off the Bone Club. Bone Club is going to be shielded by the opponent, and they go straight for a Thunder Punch, so we should actually be able to live this fairly comfortably as well, and we could have technically gone for one extra Mud Slap and still thrown a charge move without taking any damage from the Incinerate, but it doesn't really matter. They're going to come in with Talonflame. We're going to swap out straight away into our Shadow Camerupt, and we are going to get a full Incinerate through there as the opponent goes for a Flame Charge. Then going to swap back into Gastrodon, but unfortunately for them, we still get the Incinerate farm down. We come out with 100 energy. Earth Power doesn't quite get the KO there. We should have gone for the Overheat, but it doesn't really matter. Of course, Flame Charge will be taking us out. We can come in with Sharpedo. One Waterfall takes out the Talonflame, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, Sharpedo into Talonflame once again. So a lot of Talonflame right now. The opponent's going to say swap into Beedrill, and we can come in with our Shadow Camerupt. Of course, going to have to respect the damage from a Drill Run, which would one-shot us. But now they come back in with the Talonflame. I do agree with going for Earth Power this time around because, of course, we don't really want to debuff our attack and potentially allow the opponent to just fully farm us down. At this point, I probably would have full sent the Overheat here. But either way, we go for Earth Power once again. It goes unshielded. It does big damage. We don't get the defense drop this time around, but it doesn't really matter. Flame Charge, they actually, I think, probably undercharged that, but we can get the snipe with our Sharpedo. They come in with a Morpeko, but it's going to be game over. Thundershock doing big damage, but we do reach a Poison Fang, dropping the defense, getting them incredibly low, to the point where they just concede the match there. They don't even wait to see what we've got in the back, as they realize it's game over, and we're able to take that game. Now going into the next battle, we're going to see a Jumpluff in the lead, so we are actually, well, it looked like we were committing to the crunch there, only to go for a Poison Fang. Poison Fang probably the right move to go for anyways, as it is going to hit for super effective damage. The opponent then snipes with a Tentacruel. They do bank a ton of energy on that Jumpluff there, and we can actually come in and go for a Bone Club straight away. Bone Club is going to be shielded by the opponent. At this point, we're going to shield this as a Scald, probably going to do more damage than an Energy Ball from the Jumpluff. However, they do drop our attack, and I don't think, unfortunately, we're going to be able to get that farm down because they dropped their attack there. So that is very unfortunate for us. We're going to double shield there. To come back in with the Jumpluff, we can fire off a Rock Slide straight away. Rock Slide does some okay damage, but again, we're debuffed in our attack, so not really ideal. They go for an Energy Ball. Energy Ball gets the KO there. We come in with our Shadow Camerupt there, already at another charge move. And of course, the opponent actually going to go for Acrobatics. That does huge damage. Unfortunately, way too much damage there, so they can actually just come in with the low kicks, get the Sucker Punch farm down, and we do lose that game. But into the next battle, we're going to see a Morpeko in the lead. I'm going to say swap into our Shadow Camerupt. Again, I'm going to mention this. Shadow Camerupt is not a say swap there. I think we definitely should be safe swapping into our Marowak, but either way, we're going to see the opponent comes in with a Whiscash. They're not running, of course, a Water Fast move, however, still, Mud Shot's going to hit for super effective damage. Not really ideal for us. We do at least grab a shield back from the opponent. We can now come in with the Sharpedo. We're probably going to have to shield once and then go for a full farm them. No, actually, never mind. We are going to no-shield this. Mud Bomb just fully one-shots the Sharpedo there. We are fully sacrificing that thing. We basically gotten rid of the two Pokemon that are kind of not amazing for us, and we're just sticking with the Metamon here in the Shadow Marowak. We're going to go for a Bone Club bait there. We're actually going to fire off another Bone Club before they do reach a potential lunge and debuff our attack. Honestly, I don't mind that. It looks like we will be able to go for a full Mud Slap farm down. The opponent does go for lunge. They do drop our attack. However, we get that Mud Slap farm down. and I can't remember if we've seen their final Pokemon, but the opponent just concedes the match, and we're able to take that game. I think it might have been Morpeko, but either way, into the next battle, possibly the final battle of this video, once again leading into a Poison Jab user. I personally, even though we are double weak to water in the back, I personally would swap out of this matchup. However, we no shield, it's just the Acid Spray, and we just barely hang on there, so it works out for us in the end, but they've got a Mandibuzz in the back, and this, not really ideal for us. Of course, we do have Rock Slide full coverage, which will help for super effective damage, but it's not going to do too much damage here. I don't know if it even will two-shot a Mandibuzz, because Mandibuzz is incredibly bulky, but Rock Slide coming through, it looks like it probably would just barely two-shot them by the time we reach a second Rock Slide. However, we're going to swap into our Camerupt. No shield to Dark Pulse there. We will just barely make it to an, sorry, not an overheat. We're going to go for the Earth Power instead. Earth Power probably still gets the KO from that range, and they're actually going to swap, bank the energy, come in with their Umbreon. We're going straight for the overheat this time around. Overheat does huge damage to the Umbreon. They do overfarm there, but unfortunately for them, they can't farm us down. They have to fire for Charge Reef. They go for Dark Pulse there, so probably not on foul play, meaning we actually get the Mudslap farm down there. We're going to farm up to back-to-back Charge Reefs. The first Bone Club will, of course, be enough damage to take out the Tentacruel, and could have committed to a Rock Slide there, but it doesn't really matter. I think even from this range, Bone Club will be taking out the Mandibuzz, and we're able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.